My NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer costs
don't do this.
$32.
Don't do this. We've got another one.
Okay. Why would I put on a full face of expensive makeup, do my hair, make sure my nails are done, make sure there's no hair on my body, and then come and spend 2 hours of my time talking to you for an $8 coffee or a $16 cocktail?
Where does this sound familiar from?
Products are expensive. Like my conditioners, my leave-ins, my detanglers, my co-washes. Like hair is expensive. So I'm going to need you to front the bill on that.
It makes no sense. This is delusion. This is girl math.
You are now listening to Pree Da Production with your host, Madaro.
What is up, my travel people? Welcome back to the Pree Da Production YouTube channel. And you already know what I'm going to say. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Because we're trying to grow the community. And by sharing this with friends and family, that goes a long way in helping us do that. So, these bitches ain't shit.
God damn, it's stinking here. I don't see a goddamn thing funny.
So, the final video on this mini-series is, of course, the woman who claims that she just never does drinks or coffee dates. I mean, what's wrong with drinks and coffee? Like, minimum stakes, minimum buy-in, you know, let's feel each other out. Let me get to know you before going all out and even knowing if I'm going to see this woman again. You might get to the date and be like, yo, you don't look as nice as I thought you look. You're catfishing me. You know, I'm not even coming and sitting down with you. I'm just texting you saying, hey, you know, I'm out. No hard feelings. Everyone leaves and no one's feelings get hurt that much. But let's see her reason as to why she doesn't do drinks.
So one of my rules is I don't do coffee or drink dates. Now, I understand that some women like this or prefer this because it's a quick turnaround, 30 to 45 minutes. If you don't like him, you can get out of there. It works for some people. If you like it, I love it. This video is not for you. Keep scrolling. However, for me, as for me and my household, we're going to have higher standards. I'm talking to this guy and I'm going to read it to you because we've been talking for a couple days. And he started talking about meeting up. So he said, we should get together over some pear and lychee cocktails soon. And I said, that's really sweet, but I prefer dinner. I like to get dressed up. Now, I always try to say it nicely because I don't want to be like, I don't accept drink dates. Like, you don't have to be mean. You don't have to be, you can be nice about it. But I always just say, I prefer dinner because I like to get dressed up. And he said, I see. What type of places do you have in mind? So I sent him a list of places that I've been like wanting to try. All sorts of different budgets, okay? It ranges from like medium to a little bit higher, all different locations around the city, so he can choose like what works for him, you know, timing and budget wise.
I guarantee that budget was nothing within $50 for one person. Minimum budget was $50 for me, $50 for you. That's minimum. I guarantee that was the minimum. There ain't no Cheesecake Factory there, I know that for sure. They ain't cheesecake there.
So I sent the list of places. He says, these places sound really nice. I think it'll be fun to get to know each other over some nicer dining options. Here it comes though. But I wanted to let you know up front that if we were to meet at one of those places, I'm comfortable splitting the check. I usually will do drinks or something on the simpler end for the first meetup to see if there's a connection first. So my thing is,
she don't split the bill either. She don't do drink dates and she don't split the bill. Okay, it's cool for you to have those standards, but maybe that's why you're single. Maybe you want these guys to be paying out through the nose just to take you on a first date. And that's the thing. The first date is a stumbling block. Usually people stumble after the first date. Now you even getting a first date and having a meaningful connection is blocked by where are we going, what are we eating, what are we drinking, are you paying for it all, or am I going to have to find someone else to date? That's it. If you don't meet the are you paying for everything criteria, And that's the thing. It's not like these women ain't got money to split the bill. It's not like you ain't got the money to split the bill. You claim to be independent and need no man. I guarantee she's that type of woman. I could just see in her face. She's strong, independent. You can look. She goes to the gym. She takes good care of herself. She spends money on herself. She invests in herself. She's got a decent following, so she gets bread. So why is it so hard to split the bill? Why is it such a foreign concept? Gone are the days of where men had all of the money and you weren't working. You're clearly working. You're able to work. So why is this such a big deal for you? We're living in a modern age. Get with it, darling.
I don't like the coffee or drink date because they're trying to audition you to see if you are worth an actual dinner. This is the thing for me. Like, I know men. The number one thing men are judging you off of is your looks, right?
Okay.
When they see you, they meet you, they're going to be like, okay, how beautiful is she? Is she put together? Do I find her attractive? Right?
I mean, isn't that the same thing for women? Aren't we auditioning each other? Aren't we looking at how attractive we both are? Because I know for a fact if this guy wasn't good looking, you wouldn't even be entertaining him. So he passed that criteria, cool. Now the next criteria is, do we have a connection? Do we get along? Do we have banter? But you're not even allowing yourself to find out. I know how men think. I know how women think. They're auditioning you. You're auditioning them.
The number one thing. Your personality may come second, sure. But the first thing is how you look, right?
No shit. That's everyone.
With that in mind.
Both genders.
My NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer costs
don't do this.
$32.
Don't do this. We've got another one.
Okay. Why would I put on a full face of expensive makeup, do my hair, make sure my nails are done, make sure there's no hair on my body, and then come and spend 2 hours of my time talking to you for an $8 coffee or a $16 cocktail?
Where does this sound familiar from?
Products are expensive. Like my conditioners, my leave-ins, my detanglers, my co-washes. Like, hair is expensive. So I'm going to need you to front the bill on that.
Oh yeah. The same stupid logic that woman used is the same stupid logic she's using. I pay for this. I pay for that. I'm wearing this. I'm wearing that. This costs this much. That costs this much. Bitch, you were spending that money on those things before I met you. Why is that even being put into the equation of us even getting to know each other? It makes no sense. This is delusion. This is girl math. Do you know how, like, people say, oh, boy math is, trying to force a woman to sign a prenup knowing full well that you don't earn enough money for her to even want to steal anything? That's what these women say boy math is. But girl math is, yeah, it costs X amount of this, X amount of that. So for us to go on a first date, you have to pay for it all because I spent X amount before I even got to the date. Makes no sense because you already spent that money without him being there. That money gone. What else are you going to use that cream for? Scrubbing up dishes?
Be oh so for real. Let's take it even deeper. When women go out with a man that they do not know, they take a huge risk. Men are crazy. Okay, do you watch the news? Like 1 in 5 men are violent. He could unalive you. He could RAPE you.
That's a lot.
He could stalk you. He could harass you if he feels like it. Like, it is very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. When you go out with a man, you have to share your location with your mom and your friend. You have to send a screen recording of his Hinge profile and the conversation that you guys had so that if you go missing, they have context. You have to text your friend every half an hour while you're with him to let her know that you haven't been beheaded. You have to take an Uber so that he doesn't know what kind of car you have, just in case he's crazy. And then when you get home, you have to text somebody to tell them that you made it home alive. Men aren't doing that. They don't have to worry when they meet a woman that they do not know that their lives will be in danger.
Yeah, but, do you know what men do worry about? False accusations, right? You have a different worry, we have a different worry. But they're still same worries. Just as much as you could have to worry about men unaliving you and, following you, stealing this or damaging that, being crazy. Men have the same type of worry. We have to worry about, is she going to drug me and steal all my money? Is she going to accuse me of assault? Is she going to accuse me of rape? Is she going to accuse me of, being a creep? Is she going to put me on blast on Instagram and claim I did X, Y, and Z? And they're already going to believe this woman, especially if you got a massive following, and especially if you got loads of people in your corner. Whereas the man, they have no one. So just as much as it's a risk for you, it's also a risk for men. So let's not even play this risk thing, because both of us are valid. And this is what happens when two people try to know each other. We don't know how the other person is. You need to do your due diligence. You need to vet the person. Make sure he checks all the criterias that you have for actually meeting him in person. But don't act like men ain't worried about certain stuff too. Like, come on now. We ain't 12.
At the contrary, men benefit from just being seen with you in public, okay? If you are beautiful, poised, well-dressed, it reflects well on him. People look at him and they think, oh wow, he must be the man. Ooh, he probably has money. You know what? He's probably a good guy if he can pull her. And this is especially so if you are more attractive than him. If he's fugly or he's overweight or he's short, they're like, oh yeah, he must have money in order to be able to pull a baddie like that. So my thing is like, what's in it for women? We've already spent more money than you by just putting our makeup on. We're in danger. Like, what's in it for us?
I mean, the same way that you say men benefit from having a nice looking woman on their arm, it's the same way women benefit from having a good looking man on their arm, or a wealthy man on their arm, or an older man with status on their arm. It's the same thing. We both benefit from each other. This is why it all comes to a crescendo in this gender warfare, right? Both people think they're the prize. And it's true. Both of you are the prize, but in different ways. And you need to accept that you have features and value that men want, and the men have features and values that you want. And both of you have an equal place to play in this relationship. And that's okay. No one side is better or more deserving than the other. We're both equals when it comes to we offer things to each other to make us a whole. So for her to be acting like she doesn't benefit from having the men, especially the men that she wants, the men that want to pay for this or want to pay for that and can take you to Milan, to Paris, to Miami on a whim. That's the type of woman she wants. Let's be clear. So, because that's the only type of man that can be paying for all these dates. Because don't get it twisted, it's not just the first date that she's going to be expecting the man to pay for. It's going to be all dinner dates. So, let's not play that game. Let's not play dumb.
So then, all of that, plus, this man is a pharmacist, okay?
Exactly.
You mean to tell me you make upwards of $150,000 per year, but you can't take me to $120 to maybe $200 dinner? 2 drinks, an appetizer, 2 entrees, and a dessert?
Hey, yo, already. See? How is this in your vocabulary? How do you know your order already? 2 entrees, 2 desserts, and some drinks. She already knows what she wants to order. The entitlement. Honestly.
Like, and that kind of thing, look, men are supposed to be on their, best behavior when they're doing a first interaction with a woman. Like, that is when they are at their absolute best. So if he's being cheap now for a first interaction, he's going to be cheap on your birthday. He's going to be cheap on Christmas. Like, that kind of thing, that only gets worse. It never gets better.
And especially for the women, if she's going to be exorbitant on the first date, you have to go to these spots that are at least 200, not even 50, 200. You have to pay for the whole meal on the first date. That means you're going to be paying for the whole meal on the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You're going to be paying for the meals on the birthday, which is fair. Pay for the birthday meals, that's calm. But it's going to be Valentine's Day, you're paying for everything. Easter, you're paying for everything. Your mom's birthday, you're paying for everything. Your her dad's birthday, you're paying for it. You're going to be paying for everything. And that's how it is. So, both can be true. So let's not act like it ain't the same on the other side.
Is the type of man that's going to want you to work full time, pay half the rent when you guys move in together, do the majority of the housework because he doesn't want to hire a housekeeper, raise the kids, plan most of the things, and then after you do your 16-hour shift of labor, he's going to want you to be happy and sexy for him for his pleasure that night. Like, that's the kind of life you're looking at. So,
if a man has money to pay for a housekeeper, if that's even in the vocabulary, if that's even in the forefront of your mind and his mind, but he chooses not to, he's got the money, or you've got the money, you guys together have got the money to pay for a house help. Because deep it, a house help, that's not cheap, especially in this day and age. In Nigeria, it could be seen as affordable because, that's how life is. They get free housing because it's, relatively cheap to hire them. But on the flip side, they live with you. Whereas most people have their own houses. So if they're going to clean your house, they ain't staying in your house. So you're going to be paying them a hell of a lot more. So if a man has that money, but he chooses not to, that's the thing. You're claiming he's choosing not to. That makes no sense. If a man has that money, he will spend it. Especially if you're whining and crying about, I'm having to X, Y, and Z because, you expect me to work a full job, but then when I get home I have to clean as well when you've got the money. That makes no sense. He will spend that money if it makes sense to make your life and his life easy, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to be working together. And if the house chores are becoming too much of a hassle when it's just you two, not even counting the kids. Let's not even talk about kids, right? This argument just makes no sense. It makes no sense. That's how much she's detached from reality of actually living with someone. That means she hasn't even been with anyone who's earning that much money that they're going to be frugal, so frugal that they're not even going to spend it on house help if they've got that money. But he's choosing not to. That makes no sense as a man. If I had that money and I knew the house was going to be clean whenever I got home or whenever my wife got home from her 8-hour shift, we've both got the money to pay for this house help, to clean up everything once a week or once a month or whatever it is, and they're not spending that, even though it's not going to hit the bank account and they're still going to have savings and they're still going to have spending money. Come on, this doesn't make any sense.
What? Good for this man for asserting his boundary. He did it very nicely, and it showed me what his attitude or approach is when it comes to dating new women, and ultimately it gave me the opportunities to choose, and I have my boundaries too, so I chose to not accept it. And so I didn't respond or anything. I didn't bargain with him or try to justify anything. I just quietly unmatched him because I wasn't gonna let him play in my face. But obviously if you're on TikTok, this is not irregular discourse. This is very popular. The Red Pill podcast men are always talking about all of these things. So it's not uncommon. Men are trying to get away with this these days. They're trying to see what they can do. They're trying to get at you for less than $20. Okay, so the pharmacist tried to give me a coffee date on a Friday. Saturday, a surgeon took me to a beautiful dinner with a view. The next day after that, this other man took me to this food event where the tickets were $250 because he wanted us to have VIP. So don't feel scarce about it, because there are plenty of men, there are a plethora of men that would be more than happy to show you a good time. So never settle. Date until you find the best man for the job, and you got this. That's my TED Talk for the day. You didn't ask, but I felt like you would listen. Send this to one of your friends who needs to raise their standards, and tell me what you feel like in the comments.
Yeah, and what I feel like in the comments is, you're going to be dating for a long time. How are you going to go on a date on a Friday, then on a Saturday, go on another date, have another meal in a place with a beautiful view, and then on the Monday after, you're going on a third date where this guy's paying for £250 for a ticket for a food festival, which just shows the common thread with all of these dates that we've covered so far, these bitches only care about food. They only care about having a good time. They only care about where you can take him, where you can gallivant. They're not even trying to have a good experience with you as a person. It's all about the experience and you're just there. What type of experience can I have with this person that's over here in this corner? She didn't talk about, oh, he was lovely, we connected. It's none of that. That's the key thing. It's not about getting to know anyone. And she's out here trying to say, oh, you know, all these men want to, you know, get away with spending $20 for a date and blah, 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 blah. Maybe because this is what we see. Maybe because all we see is women demanding 200, 300 pound dates with no chance of there being an actual relationship at the end of it. Because if this is her standard, why is she single? And that's the thing, she's able to get these dates. If she tells us the truth, she's able to get on these expensive dates. How come she hasn't found one person yet? Maybe because she only goes on one date and that's it. Maybe because, you know, the person spends that £250, feels like you didn't appreciate the experience with them, not just the experience on its own. And he's thinking, right, I just spent all that money for a woman who is going on a date the next day and bragging about it. Because all those people who she went on dates with, they're going to see this. Because if she's matching these people, they have access to her Instagram, they have access to her TikTok. And now she's been exposed. Well, she's exposed herself for the food-hungry fiend she is, because she ain't paying for that. I don't even know what to say. This experience of doing these videos has taught me that these bitches ain't shit. Let me know in the comments below what you think about, you know, this video and all the subsequent videos we've covered. Do you feel like women only want free food? Do you feel like they just want men as meal tickets these days? I know, you know, the cost of living is crazy and all that, but come on. We're both earning money now. Like, I thought we were all equal. So why can't we split the bill? Especially if you're choosing an expensive place. Just make it easy on each other. Or do you feel that men should just move with the times and, you know, be taken for mugs, and you have to be a gentleman regardless of if they're treating you like crap and if they're taking you for a ride? Well, let me know in the comments below, and as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
I be kidding on my foes, even though I got it all on my own. Success sweet, yeah, it tastes like honeycomb. Dropping blood, tears, and even breaking bones. I'm sipping on Patron while aiming for the throne. I've been to hell and back and even